Okay, so you want to get into Leica cameras. Now, pulling you into this idea is the classic feel, the compact size, the heritage of the brand, and of course the Leica look. But getting into Leica can be no easy task. There's one major barrier to entry, and that is the high price of Leica gear. That'd be a heck of a kayak ride right there. You can see the rapids underneath the bridge, just past it. It's some major river rapids. And we got more rapids down over here. They're pretty intense. When you first walk into a Leica camera store or any camera shop that sells Leica equipment, or even goes to a website that sells Leica gear, you'll be bombarded with cameras that can easily approach $10,000. This has been a hallmark characteristic for Leica for many years. Some say it's a form of gatekeeping into the brand, but that's a topic for another video. Just know there is hope. There are things you can do to bring down these high costs. I can't promise these prices I'll show you in ways that will be as cheap as buying a 10-year-old Nikon, but just know you don't need to be some big bank executive or live on doctor wages to get into Leica. Let's take a look at the current Leica M11P camera. Both the black and silver models sell for a whopping $9,000 plus, and that doesn't even get you a lens. So let's take a look at the model just before the M11 line, the M10 series. Here on MPB, an M10P can be had for $58.29. A black model can be slightly more at $65.09. Seems black digital and even some film Leicas are more in demand, thus the higher prices. The M10P camera I feel is a great balance between lower cost and modern technology. It's not too old, nor is it cutting edge new. It was actually my first Leica Digital M. If you want to save even more money, you can check out the Leica M240 or go even back to the M9 or M8 series. The M8 is actually making a retro comeback as photographers seeing the colors and look of that Kodak CCD sensor it has. With the M9, there's a known corrosion issue with the original sensor, so you'll see modified or updated sensor models, and they sell more than the original. It should be noted that Leica cameras like the M8 and up are digital. M7 and prior are film cameras. Alright, let's talk about Leica film cameras. Thanks to its popularity here on YouTube, film cameras like the M6 are very popular. So popular that Leica reintroduced this camera, placing it back into production in 2022, and it's still made today. The M6 has a retro feel to the body and also packs a light meter, something the older models like the M4, M3, M2, and M1, and also MA do not have. So if you're deciding on a Leica film camera, you want to see, do you want a light meter in the camera, or do you not need a light meter? And that will determine the series of cameras that you can look at. If you decide not to go with a light meter, you're going to need either an external light meter or just use the Sunny 16 rule or estimate the exposure. I don't recommend that if you're a new Leica shooter because your hit rate will suffer for it. Once you have decided on a model, whether it be digital or film, then you need to know where to buy it at the best price. You don't want to pay that ultra premium Leica price tag, so what do? This is where navigating the used market becomes so important. The used market is divided into two main categories, dealer and private seller. Dealers can give you the stability of buying from a reputable company. Many of your purchases come with a return period or even a short warranty. Now with private sellers, you can be on your own. These are like eBay, Facebook, Craigslist, or buying directly from someone you know or even not know. Now that can be a toss-up who has the better prices. As for private sellers, you can get some good deals, but buyer beware. You have exposure to the chance of getting ripped off as well. Not to mention, none really have any official way to stand behind what they sell, like some dealers do. I'm not saying this is a bad option, just understand some of the risks you involve. Let's compare a used Leica M10P versus today's model, the Leica M11P. The M10P comes in at MPB selling just over $6,500 with a 14-day return period and 6-month limited warranty. On eBay, the M10P comes in around $6,000, and with eBay there is buyer protection ensuring you're protected so you got what you purchased. Not much with a warranty. Now with dealer warranties, many ranging from a few weeks to 6 months depending on the dealer's own policies. On Craigslist, I found an M10P for $6,000, but this one came with the VisoFlex electronic viewfinder and an extra battery. There's no buyer protection or warranty, so you're on your own. Comparing that to a new M11P coming in at a whopping $9,200, that's some pretty good savings. Now, of course, an M10P just over $6,000 for a manual focus, no IBIS camera is still a good chunk of money, even at that price, and that may still be priced out of someone's budget. That's where something older like an M240 or even an older Leica camera can get down prices comparable to what you pay for a typical Canon or Nikon. It's all a balance between new features and expense versus older features and value. Where that line is, it's up to you. Let's talk about lenses. Like Leica's cameras, some of the lenses come with a high price tag as well. Some will say Leica is more about the lenses than it is about the cameras, because this goes back to Leica's roots. Leica was a very big optical company and had many famous lens designers and optical designers working for them. If you want to stay with Leica lenses, let's look at this 35mm Summilux version 2 FLE, or floating lens element. It sells new for over $5,000, with used ones coming in not much less at around $4,900. To get the price down some more, let's look at some older 35mm Summilux models on the used market. Here's one, the version 1 FLE, just one model before, with moderate wear coming in at just over $3,700. Over on eBay, for just under $2,900, you can get this pre-aspherical model, which, by the way, these older pre-aspherical models I really like. They have small imperfections and give your shots a retro Leica look. For me, it's not all about detail and image perfection. This is something you do not see much with the other brand genres. In my work, the retro character is where I hang my hat on. So I seek these older lenses, and many in the Leica world do as well. Okay, so you need to bring the prices down some more, I get it. Nice thing, with the Leica M mount, there are many third-party alternatives from makers like Voigtlander, Zeiss, Light Lens Lab, and others. Many of these third-party options can get you below $1,000 for a lens. So if we look at that M240 we talked about earlier and paired that with, let's say, this Voigtlander Ultron f2 and 35mm, you get a new lens with a dealer purchase body and a warranty, all for under $4,000. Much better than $14,590 for a new M11P and new FLE2 Leica lens. You save yourself just over $10,000. And that $4,000 M240 in Voigtlander isn't a bad setup. And trust me, you won't be looked at as a cheap Leica shooter in the Leica community out there. The big takeaway is you can get into the Leica system without blowing through a ton of cash. You just need to find out what legacy model and lens works for you, and the right place or person to buy it from. Leica isn't just for high-income photographers. I hope you found this information helpful. I want to thank Tony Rose from PopFlashPhoto.com for his help during my research. Go check out his link below in the description. We'll catch you in the next video. All right, you finally get some hay. You guys have been good.